All right, I'm extremely sorry for the delay. There was some technical issues, but they're all solved now. And we are finally live on Facebook as well. Do we have everyone from JD Institute?
Yes, Dhanashta, we are here.
Okay. So once again, extremely sorry for the delay. And first of all, a very good afternoon to one and all present. On behalf of the entire team and faculty of Yatharth, the Department of Philosophy of Ramanujan College, University of Delhi, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our education partners and collaborative organizers of today's event, JD Institute of Fashion Technology. Thank you very much for taking out your precious time and joining us today for this event. It gives me immense pleasure to also welcome today's August gathering for being a part of this event and helping us make it a huge success. Now over to Dr. Indu Gupta, the Campus Ambassador and Center Manager of Corporate Office, JD Institute of Fashion Technology.
Thank you so much, Dhanashta. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible. Great, good to know that. And thank you so much for the warm welcome. And I'm really happy to be here among such a wonderful audience and would like to thank the audience for patiently waiting for the session to begin. And I must add here, yes, that we are in the age of technology and these technical glitches are, I think, a part of our everyday life now. So bearing with that, yes, that is the only way out. But let me promise all my lovely audience out there that all this waiting would definitely be worth when you start getting to know about this session, because it is something which is going to be very, very wonderful for you all. So here I am, Dr. Indu Gupta here from JD Institute of Fashion Technology. And on behalf of my organization, my entire team of JD Institute, I would like to extend again a warm welcome to you all. And before I hand over the session to my fashion styling professor, Professor Riddhima Jain is here with us to take the session further. But before we go any further, let us get to know a bit about JD Institute and what all things do we offer on platter. So JD Institute of Fashion Technology is amongst the leading design institutions in India, providing a superior education in the field of fashion, interiors, and jewelry for more than 3 decades now. With its presence since 1988, it also offers courses in interior design, visual merchandising, fashion business management, jewelry design, and a lot of other courses as well, which are very much related to our everyday life. We have more than 40 plus campuses across India and a special program in London as well, which is in collaboration with University of Arts London, which happens at London College of Fashion and Art and Chelsea College of Art. The institute is earnestly dedicated to the cause of spreading design education and has produced some of the best talents in the industry, like Rocky S, Shane Peacock, Urvashi Kaur, Mehka Meerpuri, who have designed not only for national clients, but they have their presence in the international market as well. Distinguished names like Mr. Rohit Bal, Ms. Reena Dhaka, Ms. Sunita Kohli, Mr. Manjeet Bhullar, Ms. Sonali Bhagwati, all these people have been mentoring our students with their expertise in their respective fields. So today, as I said, we have Professor Riddhima Jain with us, who's a fashion styling professor at the Institute, and she'll be taking up the session further and will be guiding you about different looks for different occasions. I'm sure you all are excited to know that. Are you? Great, great response out there. So listen to her very carefully and you will be taking away a lot of wonderful suggestions, a lot of wonderful tips out there which you can adopt in your daily life. We will again get back to you with the feedback at the end of the session. So for the further part of the session, I would now hand it over to Ms. Riddhima.
Thank you so much, Indu ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Riddhima and I am a fashion stylist professor at JD Institute. Been quite some time. I have been training all the talented minds, like basically brushing their skills and eventually making them realize where their talent lies. So I'm sure every one of you at this stage are at a confusion what to do in future next. So, and it's always better to have a brief knowledge about your career. Spend like you're investing a lot of months, a lot of efforts. So it's always better to have an introduction that is styling your field, and styling is something that you want to take up. So here I am going to educate you on fashion styling. So I'll just share my screen. And guys, it's going to be a very interactive session. It's not a monologue at all. So you can please switch on your videos. Be ready with your chat windows because there will be like question answers and your inputs and everything. So you can always type in what you think, and I can always tell you that in which direction we are going. So yes, please switch on your videos and keep it on mute. In case you have any doubt, please raise your hand and I'll be able to answer your query. I'll just share the screen. And just a quick yes, no thing, that thumbs up means yes, thumbs down means no. So it can be a quick yes, no thing we can have. So can you all see the screen? Great, awesome. So first question starts with, who's a fashion stylist? What, according to you, is a fashion stylist? What is the job of a fashion stylist? You can tell me anything that comes to your mind, or if you yourself see as a fashion stylist, what do you think you want to be? Anything, any answers that you think a fashion stylist can be? Someone who designs clothes, overall look. What do you think is who is a fashion stylist? Yes, Dhruv.
Fashion stylist is basically someone who frames your physical personality.
Very
Someone, yeah.
nice. Like somebody who's curating your image. Very rightly said. The one who guides a person to style according to his her personality. Spursh, you actually gave me a definition of personal styling. I will use this further in my session. Someone who curates looks for different events. Wow, that is great. Definitely someone who can basically your physical appearance as per the occasion, who curates it. That's the job of a fashion stylist. Who Kritika says who creates an overall look together for a person. Absolutely correct. So when we talk about overall look, it's clothing, hair, accessories, makeup, footwear, everything. So yes, to now put it more in a fashion styling lingo. Okay, we have one more answer. Who have a good idea about dressing according to event. Yes, somewhat correct. That who actually knows what's the purpose, what's the occasion, what's the requirement of that dress code, and will style you in the right way. So all of these things are absolutely correct, and I'm going to put it together for you. A fashion stylist is a professional who is a brand's curator. When I talk about a brand's curator, I am talking about, let's say, we all know Forever 21 as a brand, right? Can you all see that this particular campaign can be of Forever 21? Or do you think this particular campaign can be of Anoki? One is Forever 21, two is Anoki. So one or two? We all agree one. Why it's not Anoki, why this campaign is not dressed up in something made of cottons and prints and something. Because as a stylist, when you shoot a campaign, you make sure that you ultimately maintain the brand's image. I will not sell, if I'm styling Forever 21 campaign, I will not sell flared palazzos, Indian dyed or Indian prints. I will sell something which teenager likes because that is my target audience. I will choose the models which basically caters to that target audience. In Forever 21, I might not have a woman who is between 35 to 45, but I might have women or maybe even 25 and above. I might have women between 15 to 25 because that is my target audience. You kind of create an aura, you kind of create an image about the brand and you throw it out on the audience. So a fashion stylist is a brand's curator. He's the fashion stylist is a fashion advisor. As you guys have mentioned, they know how to style, how to curate a look for particular events. They create an overall look. They make you dress according to an event. They also suggest the brands, fashion houses, that what should be your next collection based on the customers, clients' demands. Like, for example, right now, if someone's coming up with bodycon dresses in their latest collection, or someone's coming up with bright, bold colors, they might not be the demand of the audience or liked by the audience in the fall, winter 2021. Reason being, we are not in that zone right now. What we want is something comfortable. What we want is something colorful. What we want is something breathable and stylish at the same time. So if you put it all together, that's the kind of advice a stylist give it to the brand who can ultimately work on their production, who can ultimately work on their fashion shows, who can ultimately work on meeting the ultimate client's need. They need to think in advance. They need to trend forecast. Sitting today, if I create something based on today's market, then you have failed as a stylist because I am not, all the production and everything will take 6 months to launch at least. So you need to think ahead. You need to think in advance. So trend forecasting, one of the basic jobs of fashion stylists. They are true fashion advisors. And last but not the least, fashion stylist is a service provider. So as a stylist, you always charge a fee to your client because it's a service that you provide. So there is no product delivery happening. It's your brain work that's working. So we're clear with this? Who is a fashion stylist, brands curator, fashion advisor, and service provider? Yes, great. Now, okay, so I have these two images like product catalog shows. One is pink, one is gray. Which one do you think is Zara? So you can type in your answers, pink or gray. Oh, I see some doodling happening. Okay, works. I think some people are answering pink, 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 pink. Few says gray, pink, gray. So I think 3:1 maybe the ratio. All right, but the correct answer is pink. Now I will show you. I'll show you it. Show this to you with the example of with another example also. Why pink is the correct answer in this slide? Reason being, if you ever go on Zara's e-commerce website, you will see all the models are basically in. They are not Indians. One thing, they are. They would always be. There would always be some interaction with the background. The lightings will be different. There will not be a very harsh lightings on the model. If you see, you can easily compare. There's soft mood. There's sharp mood. The styling is different, the vibe is different. So in this one, it's a little evident that pink one is Zara. But now when I move to the next slide, now can you tell me which one is Zara? So, okay, both are white. So one is left, which is white with black heels and blue eyeliner. One is white and black. So right is white and black, left is white. Which one do you think is Zara? Left or right? Right to left, 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 right. Neha, this is cheating. Both are white. Right, left, right. So now you see that the ratio is literally 1:1. Why the confusion happened? Now I think even you yourself will be able to answer it once I tell you the vibe, the difference in vibe. Always remember, Zara is a brand that is very classy, sophisticated, a little party-oriented, minimalistic, chic, or you can call it stylish. They will always style their outfits, even their comfortable outfits, in a way that is for a sophisticated clientele. They will, even someone's wearing joggers, they might actually style joggers, jogger pants, and the hoodie with heels. Or might just make a slick ponytail, tight ponytail with the nude makeup, but always classy and sophisticated. Whereas H&M, whatever the outfit is, will throw a vibe of casual and comfortable and sporty. Even if the dress material, the dress style is same, the vibe of an H&M product will always be sporty, casual, messy, fun to play with. Whereas vibe of Zara will always be classy, sophisticated, even glamorous. So now, can you tell me which one is Zara, left or right? Yes, I think most of you are corrected now. The ratio has increased 1:8 or something. So left one is Zara. Reason being H&M, because we have just learned H&M is, yeah, Dhruv, I know you were confused. So let's redo this thing again. So H&M is casual. This dress and this dress both are casual. Birkenstock slippers, very casual. Heels, sophisticated and classy. Hence H&M, therefore Zara. So I hope everyone's clear with the difference. Now, this is the job of a fashion stylist, creating the brand's image. If I am a stylist or if you guys are a stylist, any catalog image of Zara would be shot like this, even if the dresses are pretty similar. All right, moving on to the next very important slide. These are basically the career options you have once you become a stylist. So then when I say stylist, stylist is not, it's a big word. Like for example, we say the student is a commerce student. After doing commerce, you can actually go for BCom, you can actually go for eco honors, or you can actually go for some other stream. Commerce is a category. Similarly, fashion stylist is a category. They have different areas. One is personal style. Personal style, it's all about, I'm sure you all know celebrity stylist. Deepika Padukone, Shalina Nathani. Deepika Padukone is not a stylist. Shalina Nathani is a stylist. What Shalina Nathani does, give looks to Deepika Padukone. We agree, right? So she is the stylist. Deepika is not a stylist. Similarly, this is celebrity styling, also covered in personal styling. We have personal styling. Let's say, for example, there's someone's getting married. They want their, generally, where do you spend maximum time in a wedding? Shopping, clothes, looks. So you hire a stylist. They not only make you buy all the Western wear, all the Indian wear, but also curate wedding looks for you based on the trends, based on the colors that suits them, based on the style that will go on their body. So the knowledge, the study of body type, the colors that suits you, face shape, what kind of jewelry will suit your face, sunglasses will suit your face, everything that's been taught in personal styling, and that's what you offer to your client. And trust me, once somebody gets used to personal styling, they really depend on the stylist a lot. I remember my clients calling me at 8 a.m. also. Like if one of the days I forgot giving them their look, or maybe I skipped, they're like, what to wear them, or what to wear them. They're confused. Like they sometimes get so dependent because they're so used to looking better than them, like better than how they style themselves. Second is e-commerce, social media stylist. I'm sure you would be following different bloggers, influencers, also different websites like just the way I showed you Zara and H&M and Kazo. So different e-commerce website and social media styling is also covered in fashion stylist. That is one area of fashion styling. Maybe somebody who's very good at personal styling might not be very good at social media styling. So we study all these areas, and towards the end we get to know what's the students' capabilities, and they ultimately pick up their majors. So they ultimately ultimately take that as their career. Then comes costume designer and commercial stylist. We all know there is a huge chunk of fashion involved in movie, TV, and TV advertisement industry. Now, in today's time, if you watch any movie, in the movie, if you see that someone's dressing up very hip, very fashionable, and wear a lot of high brands like Chanel, Dior, or maybe Burberry, stuff like that, they are kind of throwing a vibe of being from a very upper middle class or a very high HNI version. How is it possible? You don't even know their background. It's the fashion through which you get to know. If someone is dressed in a policeman attire, that is when you get to know the person is the policeman. So costume industry is a huge industry if you are really fond of styling somebody in the movies or TV advertisements. If you see some advertisements of Ariel or maybe Vanish or Tide, there are models present, there are people present. What people wear, you decide that for them. If you ever notice in an ad of Ariel, any person would not be wearing any other color like pink or orange. Pink is for Vanish, orange is for Tide. Competitors. I'm sure you wouldn't have noticed, but this is how you need to work in a costume industry, costume design area. So if you notice it now in an Ariel's ad, all the crowd present mostly would be wearing either pastel colors and mostly green because that's the color of Ariel. Yes, so that is costume designing and commercial styling. Then comes the editorial styling. So editorial styling is basically the artistic art version of fashion styling. Magazines, your runway shows, your brand books, they are editorial styling. So when we talk, I'm sure a lot of you would have wondered why any model on a runway walking is dressed like that. Why can't none of us can copy their style and go out for an event? No, you would not go for some spiky hair and bold mascara, bold eyeliner and purple lips, or maybe black lips and punk outfit and some different footwear. Put it all together. You won't go out like that. So why models are dressed like that on a runway? Reason being, in editorial styling, you put together different trends. You put together a story. You create a story out of that. And when we see a runway, we don't pick up that, okay, this particular outfit we like, we'll buy it. No. We pick up, okay, the hair is spiky. So I think that's going to be the next trend. In 2-3 runways, we see a lot of them have used red color. Okay, red color is going to be the trend. We pick up, okay, the block heels. There are a lot of women wearing block heels. So block heels will be in fashion. That's how you pick up trends. So editorial styling is the artistic way of putting up fashion. So all of this is studied in our course, and there are projects designed as in each category. And then towards the end, we realize, like under different, after going through different opinions, we realize that which is the major core of each student and what is the area of interest, where they can master that area. And that is what you take it forward in your career. So yes, these are the career options, quite a lot. And every field is very promising. Work activities. So these are few things that as a stylist, you need to take care on. As a stylist, you have to be aware of these things. Keeping up to date with the current and changing trends in fashion and design. Very important. Reading, visualizing, seeing a lot of visuals, research. Everything is very important for a stylist. You should be on tips. Okay, if you're liking certain thing, you saw it where, how did they style it? You might just make certain changes in that and put it across. A lot of visuals, a lot of research is done in styling. So it's not a lot about the final shoot. If your research is strong, 70% marks are given to research. If your research is strong, implementation will be easy. Then advising clients what suits them or their brand. Personal styling, advising to the clients. Brands curator, you advise to the brands. Selecting the most appropriate pieces from collection for the shoot. This is very important. Any designer or a fashion house, when they come up with a collection, they make like 50 to 100 pieces. You don't shoot 50 to 100 pieces altogether. But as a stylist, you need to be very sure to pick up those 12 to 20 pieces that you shoot that basically represent the entire collection. If they have, suppose, 10 garments in red color, you might pick up one of the red garment to show that red is also included in their collection. Purchasing props for the shoot. It's, again, as a stylist, when you're styling a shoot or anyone, it's not just clothing, it's everything. Background, are there any accessories in the background? Lightings, you need to prepare for all of it. Last but not the least, supervising the shoot. If you are not good at teamwork, I would say start with that. A stylist cannot work on its own. A stylist needs a makeup artist, a stylist needs a photographer, they need models, they need clients. So when the client approaches a stylist, you need to have a team you can work with. The team need not be fixed. Always play around. Like, I think I must have worked with a lot of photographers and makeup artists by now. Whosoever is available, you hire them as per the client's requirement. So you supervise the shoot. You bring the entire team together. It's a teamwork. Okay, so one of the most interesting questions that I think every one of you would think when you're dressing up, how to create a look. If this is the bottom, what will it go on? Like, what top to match with the bottom? If this is the top, what accessories to wear? If this is a dress, which color bag should I pick? If this is the jeans, should it be like a low dark wash, or it should be light color? What color? So creating a look becomes very easy once you know your personal style. So so in my class, I think we are going to learn how to know your personal style. So let's do that exercise first. So personal style, again, these are few of the future prospects of a personal style. Once you style anybody, like for example, if I style Insha and she ultimately starts to look better, I'm sure she already looks great, but with my tip, she just loves the overall look. Well, I'm sure she would like to do it again and again. That's the thing that the client is looking forward to. Once everybody likes themselves, so there is no doubt in that. Once they find that they can look great and they can throw a great impression, that just works as an addiction. So you need to basically make a person look better from their current state, or maybe in fact sometimes people get bored of their style. It's too monotonous over years, it's just one way. You might want to just make some changes and give them a different look so that it's noticeable, and or so that they kind of enjoy the change. So I just gave you one small example, and you can easily imagine when you have 10 such people who are enjoying this line, the multiplication just goes on. So the future of this industry is large. Now, can you tell me when we say that how to describe your personal style, let me put it in words. How do you actually describe someone's personal style? Can you name this actress for me? Who do you think this actress is? Oh, Rekha. I think everyone knows her. Now, our brain has seen her so much that we don't even need to see her face to recognize her. And it's not because of the body language. It is because of the sari she's wearing. It is because of the hairstyle she's put up. It is because of the jewelry she's adorned with. It's the golden silk sari or the green silks that she carries. You have not even realized it, but your brain has actually recognized her on the basis of this. Now, when I talk about Rekha, what am I actually talking about? I have to now describe someone's personal style. Now, Rekha's personal style. Her love for unique South Indian silk sari, mostly Kanjivaram. That's what defines Rekha. Her clothing, her entire wardrobe is full of Kanjivarams or South Indian silk saris. Red lips, dark eyes, and large bindi defines her makeup look. You have mostly seen Rekha in exactly that kind of makeup. Then her open, long black tresses and heavy gold jewelry added to her perennial beauty. Like, actually, literally, like, not properly combed, just left a little untidy, messy curls, long black, and it just looks great on her. She looks graceful and elegant. Now here I have started giving the adjectives to the look. Graceful and elegant, and this is where you define the mood. What Rekha gave to Indian cinema is a face of ethnicity and tradition with an evergreen sensuality and glamour. Now, if suppose in your head you have to style a shoot or you have to create a look and somebody says, Ki, I wanted the look to be very sensual and glamorous, but I want it very conservative. I want it very ethnic. You know they're asking for Rekha in their minds. Or she's your inspiration. Similarly, this is how you need to find out your own style. This is a very this fact everyone knows. But how do you put it in words? So once you find your own personal style, you can put it in words, and you're automatically you will be driven to pick up only those outfits that will suit you. That is what you're really looking for. First, figure out your personal style. Once you do that exercise, then you can help the clients to do the same. Basically, you need to figure out their taste. So let's understand how to know your personal style. Yes, Feroz Khan, retro actor. I think we all know his personal style. And so I think all of them, all these style icons, they had their own personal style. If you know Madonna, I don't know how many of you know Madonna, the pop star. She literally popularized so many looks. The conical bullet bras, she was wearing the bodysuit dress on the stage. That became very popular. Bold lips became very popular. The Marilyn Monroe dress fitted on the torso and flare in the hem absolutely became an iconic dress. Now, if you talk about Deepika Padukone is one of the most minimalistic style actress. She absolutely do not overdo anything, and she looks stunning. She will wear something very plain, simple, a nice stylish cut, delicate jewelry, and that's all about her. So you basically kind of break down every actor's style. How do you know your own personal style, or how do you basically get to understand the concept of personal styling? First, become an expert observer. Be a stalker. You might have done stalking for other requirements, but for fashion, to become a personal stylist or to learn your personal style, you need to be a stalker. See what people are wearing, what pieces of clothes, what is the hairstyle going well with the look. Look out for color combination. Use Pinterest and Instagram for real life inspiration and find out in practice. The key is to be precise about the look. Now, suppose you can even, what you can do, you can just sit in a cafe, observe what people are wearing around you. See what you're liking. You need to you don't really have to comment on people. Please never comment, because your personal style can be different from someone else's personal style. So if you're commenting, that is something you are not a good stylist. Why? Because you don't have an open mindset. You basically think that what is your personal style, that's the best. What other has a personal style, that's not great. You will never become a personal stylist, because personal styling is all about understanding your client. So become an expert observer, see what you like around you and observe it in detail. If that's the top that you're liking, look at the way it's being styled. If that's the makeup you're liking, so I'm sure if you're liking a makeup, that is one of the most obvious thing in a look. So look at what is the rest of the thing. It will be muted. I think most of the boys are fond of shoes. If they're wearing red shoes, and you will realize rest of the look can be all blue. It's the shoe that is highlighted. Why there is no red belt or a red t-shirt on top? Reason being, you should not have two reds statement in one look. A red sneaker with all blue look will any day look better than red t-shirt, blue jeans and red sneakers. Try it yourself. So you need to become an observer. You need to see things and you need to start saving them and observe it in detail. Copy and paste, or in short, imitate. So now, if you're liking something, and best thing is if you have it already, try to create a same look. Now, you might be thinking that if I'm going to copy, then how can I be a successful artist? Now, in order to be a successful artist, you really need to understand the art of copying also. Why? Because You remember as a child, you used to paint and create that landscape effect with mountains and river and garden and sun and a hut. We all did that, right? You have seen it somewhere. Copied it, and like how I basically painted would be absolutely very, very difficult how Himanshi would paint. Mine and Himanshi's hut will never be same. Why? Two different hands. So similarly, if you copy someone's style and put it yourself, it will not come out same. But what you learn is you tried a new style, whether it suits you, great, you learned a new style. It does not suit you, great, you learned what is not suiting you. So copy and imitation is great. Unless and until you see visuals around and you repeat this activity, you will not know your personal style. To know your personal style, you need to see what you're liking and then try it on yourself. Okay, now I have this particular look board. So this is what you call a look board, where there are just garments present. This is my look board. Tell me which is the closest look. Like if I give this look board to my client, will they look like this or will they look like this? You can type in your answers, 1 or 2. Okay, I think majority of you are getting there. Yes, the correct answer is 1. Now let's study it in detail why it's 1. Look at the fit of the pant. It's a straight fit. Tapered, straight. Look at the fit of the blazer. It's something very loose without shoulder, and it clearly has defined shoulders. Look at the fit of the top. It's not fitted or body hugging. Body hugging, not fitted. Shapes of the back, shape of the back, you might have thought that this is exactly this thing. So might of you might have answered on the basis of that, but the bag is different here. Heels, sneakers. So when you give a look board to a client, it's not necessary they will have each and every piece. It's the mood you are generating. So the mood here is this. You can replace this bag, doesn't matter. I'm sure this is one look board and these 2 images are picked up separately. I just typed on Pinterest, monotone beige looks, and I've got these images. So when you like a look board, you need to see how it's going to look. So you need to visualize it now. And now if you kind of hide 1 or 2 on your screens, you see this look board, now you visualize. So this kind of image will come into your mind. This is how you understand the concept of being going into very details about each look. So even if you see a top at Zara, you need to understand if it's a very loose top, you might want fitted pants or closer to the body pants. If suppose a lot of men they like slouchy fit jackets. So if the jackets are slouchy fit, you need to make sure inside it's all fitted. Okay, so this is how you visualize or go in details. Okay, so which one, again, the same question, which one do you think is most closest to the look board? Yes, so the answer is 1, the formal look. Now I will tell you actually why it's 1. It's a very, very easy. This one was pretty easy because of the presence of bottom, chinos, jeans. Accessories come little next after clothes. So see the fit, understand the fit of the clothes first. Fit of the cloth describes whether it's formal or it's casual, whether it's evening or it's daylight. Yes, Muskan, you have a question? Or was it by mistake? Okay. So here, now when I know that these are chinos, they're not jeans, and this is a shirt. So I go in this vibe. Coincidentally, we have a belt here, visible belt, not visible belt. Shoes, these are more, this particular shoe is going more with the casual vibe than this. So ultimately, when you know you have chinos, you have white shirt, you can create a formal look like this. Yash, I didn't get your question. Yes, so moving on. Let me just see the chat. Okay, brown belt, formal shoe, brown belt, brown formal shoes. So yes, this is also a way you can actually say these are very business casual shoes. Laces, mostly business casual. So you can go in this vibe. So now understand the minor details can change the vibe. So as a stylist, you need to understand the vibe required for the occasion. If you're going to the birthday party, if it's like a banquet birthday party, you might want this vibe. If it's a restaurant cafe birthday party, you might want this vibe. All you need to do is switch between chinos to jeans. That's about it. Okay, so third step in understanding your personal style is look at your own closet. I am sure you all would have pieces that you wear it on repeat. Getting late, pick that up. Spending a lot of time, wo hi sabse acha tha. I want to wear that only. I'm 110% sure they are like minimum 5 pieces that are on repeat. Like you will wait until it's torn. Or people start commenting, last time bhi yahi pehna tha. That happens. But you need to start picking it out from your closet. Don't throw them away for sure. There is a reason why you like them. You pick it out and you actually realize there are a lot of similarity. Suppose you have 10 tops that you like. Out of that, 5 tops have power shoulders. Most of them are plain. They have a style, or most of them are printed. Most of them have a knot in the as a belt. They're belted tops. So there is a particular style that you are liking again and again. Observe that. And in your closet, there are pieces that you absolutely don't wear, but it's still there. Observe that. Why are you not wearing? Is it because of the print you're not wearing, or is it because of fit you're not wearing? Then if it's because of the fit, then that is not your silhouette. If it's because of the print, that you don't like printed. So you need to look at your own closet. Sometimes you can actually put a label: comfortable, chic, bold, modern, bohemian, anything. Like we did for Rekha. Elegant, graceful, sophisticated, classy, glamorous, sensual, ethnic. Put labels on your likings. What you're not liking, put labels on that too. Like as a person, I'm not fond of being dressed up as a in boho fashion, but I love boho fashion and like I love to see it on others. But that's not my style. Similarly, you would have like somebody would have a very punk style, but they would not like something classy or something Zara. There are people who hate Zara absolutely. So you need to understand your own closet, your own style. Create a fashion board. Yeah, this is one of the most important and fun part. You go online, you go on Pinterest, you go on Instagram, and you pick up all the images that you like. Are you liking jumpsuits? Anything, literally, it can be anything. It can be from a magazine, it can be normal street style images, it can be celebrity images. Pin them on your board, on your pin boards. When you have like 100 of those images, then scrutinize them. 10 of those images will consist of only denim shirts. 10 of those images will have only dark colored jeans. 5 to 7 of these images will have a green color shoe that you're liking. Then another 7 to 8 images will have like a white poplin shirt that is something that you're liking. So you categorize them. Pick up any of the image, take a picture, and whenever you go to shop for shopping next, try that look. This is how you basically create a look and understand what you're liking is actually what's suiting you also. This is a very, very fun exercise and you should definitely do it. I still do it. I have like over 5 lakh images in my pin board, and I kind of categorize them. And there is always some connection. There's always a baseline. There's always a direction I'm mostly headed to. So you need to understand that direction. Then we move on to experimentation. If you want to be a stylist, you need to be open-minded. You need to be, even if you're 60 years, if someone tells you, yeah, why don't you try a red color suit? You'll be like, oh, okay. If that is your area, if you like minimalistic and classy and sophisticated, you shouldn't say no. But if you like bohemian and someone tells you to try red color suit, that's when you can say, I don't like that. That's not my style. But you need to be open-minded. You need to come out of your comfort zone and experiment a lot. So if you follow these steps, you can be a great stylist. You can actually understand your personal style. Give it 10 days, and on the 11th day only, you will have your answer. Okay, do you think these two outfits are same or they are different? It's jeans, it's a white top, neck accessory, brown color shoes. Do you think they're same or they're different? Awesome, guys, they're different. I think I don't even have to go in detail. You have observed the detail. Loose fit, fitted. Medium to high rise, low waist. Pegged pants, tapered. Boot cut or actually straight pants, full length. Casual, sophisticated. H&M, Zara. We know that, right? We can now categorize it. Although it's not H&M or Zara, I'm just putting labels on it. You can also talk in this language once you are a stylist. Beginner's goals: observe, develop a better understanding of different aspects of outfits and what all work together. Observe, observe, and observe. That is why as a stylist, you need to do a lot of research. Understand what you're personally getting attracted to. So these are basically 5 steps that I've taught you, narrowed down. Interesting part. I have put some looks together for you guys. You can start experimenting on your own for your next class. What to wear at college. These are the looks that I like, and I put it. What you like, you can pick up from that. Similarly, you can have your own slides. This particular look, a corduroy pant. Observe the colors also. Breton knit sweater, a chambray shirt. Look at the neck of the sweater. It's a boat cut. That's how this rather than V cut, it's a boat. It looks more sharp and more feminine. Had it been V, might look a little masculine. Look at the length of the pants. Even the footwear are printed. It's just matching. Subtle nude color with again neutral colors of black and white and blue. Put it all together, cuffs visible, looks very preppy chic. These are the adjectives I put for this look. And she's wearing tiny pearls in the ears. If you like it, try it on. As a college student, always have a blazer handy, especially for winters. Whatever you're wearing, throw that basic neutral color blazer on. It will just match. Remember one thing, if you're observing the footwear, they're either flat or they're block heels. There are no stilettos, there are no high heels, there are no uncomfortable shoes, because understand, college requires comfort. If you're not comfortable, then you're not dressed right for college. Purpose is college. All of these are giving you that comfortable vibe. Dresses. Everyone wears dresses to college, but look at the kind of dresses. They're cotton. They are not satin, or they are not tulle, or they are not velvet or something. They're breathable, they're comfortable, and they're not even fitted. So these are the kind of dresses you can wear at college. Okay, it's very easy to create a dress, to create a style. If you are decent height, if you're 5'3" and above, you can absolutely wear sneakers with a dress. If you're short height, you're 5'4" and less, you would rather wear a very nude color footwear. Why? Because it's just kind of looks like it's just one leg. If you wear sneakers here, so you're kind of breaking the leg. White dress and you're shortening the length of the leg visually. So let it be in continuation, just to give an illusion of the longer legs. Keep it very casual. So now what adjectives I've given here are casual, chic, and comfortable. Stuff. It's fashionable yet very comfortable. White shirt. Now, if you like any of the style, white shirt is loose, but look at the fit of the sleeves. Look at the fit of the top. It's not just flowing. It's kind of fitting you so well. Fitting of the shirt is very important when you're going for a white shirt. Keep it simple, or go experimental with statement plaza. So you can actually, so if you are confused with what color bag you pick, whatever, pick any color from the print. Any color, match that. I could have picked orange, I could have picked neon, which is there. I could have picked white, I could have picked blue, anything you can pick, but pick something from the print. Casual and comfortable. Again, none of the pictures you had uncomfortable shoes. It's very casual. None of the pictures have huge like overdose of makeup or any fabric which is uncomfortable. Yes, I just go back and forth. Pick up something classic or trendy in color and print. Now, I think I've observed this trend of co-ord. Yes, Azar, coming to that also. If you have picked up any, if you realize there was a co-ord trend, there still is. So this is one of the trends. But if you are picking up something from the trend, make sure it's still, you're picking up the right trend. You're not picking up a wrong trend. If velvet and the matchy stuff is in trend, do not pick up velvet. Moving on to for the boys. So I think, again, boys also were a victim of getting dressed in uniform all their lives. And suddenly now they have a platform to basically dress up differently on an everyday basis. If you notice, the boys who just come out of school to college, a lot of them have like those fun t-shirts with them, which they pair with jeans, which they used to wear it with friends. That is the kind of look they initially start with. Basic t-shirt, white t-shirt, jeans, white sneakers. Absolutely comfortable, casual. Just look at the sunglasses and the white sneakers. They are making a statement. Look at the fit of the jeans. They are making a statement. The t-shirt is tucked in from the front, tucked out from back. That looks nice. Of course, if you can do this if you don't have any belly. But if you have any belly, you cannot do this. So you need to make sure, and also important thing, look at where it's cutting you. If any t-shirt cuts you at your coin pocket, it's fine. If any t-shirt cuts you below the coin pocket, you need to reduce the length. Denim jacket. Just like for the women, I told them that you need to have a blazer. Men's need to have a denim jacket. Just throw it on anything basic, and you're good to go. Always remember, with the denim jacket, the only thing that is important is the fit and how you roll them up. For boys, we are going to see a video, how do you roll the sleeves correctly. Plaids. Another, so this is like seniors or super seniors once you get there. Or see, a checkered shirt will never go. Plaids is nothing but another name for checks. A more fashionable name, or technical jargon for fashion. So you can wear checks very casually with a t-shirt inside, open short. You can wear it as a button down, whatever you like. Floral shirt. If florals are in trend, like florals was in trend in 2019. It was floral shirts everywhere. Zara had it, Paul Smith had it, H&M had it, even t-shirts they had it. Pick it up. Floral shirts look great on men in college. Now, when you're going for a colored shoe, either go all plain on top, like a neutral color, no prints, nothing. But if you're going something printed, then make sure you match one of the color from your shirt or a t-shirt in the shoe. Leather jacket. Again, as denim jacket, all boys for college should have a leather jacket. And another thing about leather jacket, any leather jacket will suit you as long as the fit is great. For men's, for boys, it's only and only about the right fit. You can pull up any look if the fit is great. If you think the sleeves are long, get it tapered from the tailor. Because a lot of brands, they do not make Asian fit clothing or something which is suitable for Indian clothing. So you need to get it tapered. Graphic t-shirt. I think Wake Up Sid was a revolution to introduce all the Tantra t-shirts for boys. And I'm sure you had it in your school time, and none of the mothers will let you throw it if you have a t-shirt and fits you well. So for college, just pick up any cool t-shirt, wear it with jeans, nice sneakers, casual sneakers, and it looks great. Okay, so this is one fun exercise that I created for you guys. So I created a capsule wardrobe for women with only these options. One jacket, one skirt, one dress, 3 tops, 2 bottom, and 3 shoes. So these are the only clothing items that I have in my capsule wardrobe. And let's see the number of looks being created in that. Look 1. So these are the same thing. Shirt, bottom, and the shoes. It's going to look something like this. This is just a reference image. Look 2, same shirt, jeans, white mules. An inspiration like this. Dress and white mules. Now you need to visualize here. I didn't get any picture with the white mules here, so I put the page, but you can now visualize. With the white mules, it will look more statement. And you can absolutely pull it off at work. We have this top, we have this bottom, we have this jacket. Pull up, so she has pulled it with the sneakers, you can easily pull this up with the white mules. Same vibe, right? Very fashionable. Shirt, jeans, and white mules. Something on these lines you'll get. The silhouette you get is this. We have a skirt, we have a shirt, and we have black heels. These are the vibe that you get. Roll up the sleeves, wear the skirt. Now, understand the skirt is not a shorter skirt. It's a long skirt. It's like mid-calf or knee-length skirt. So create a vibe. If you're creating a formal vibe, you actually create something like this. You cannot have a shorter skirt at work. It's very uncomfortable. Just like college, you're spending 8 hours at work. You need to be comfortable. Very classy. If you have a business meeting, just go on with this. We have the dress, we have this jacket, we have this particular heels, another look. So this is the 8th look that I've created. Something like this. So rather instead of black, white also works. Statement loafers, tan color, absolutely goes in this zone. We have this top, we have this skirt, we have these shoes. What you get is something like this. So I've already created 10 looks from the limited clothes that I had. I can also create 10 more looks from the same set. How is it possible? It's just that you know the client's personal style, you give them the right looks as per their body shape. And you pick and choose each of the garments so carefully that it will just be fitted right on that particular body. So now let's see some workwear options for men. To begin with, we need to see for men, we can actually put certain categories. It's no more that a suit is required for work. There is a no for jeans unless your manager is okay about it. Otherwise, don't go for jeans. You go for trousers or you go for chino pants, cotton pants, but not jeans. No t-shirts. Please, you never wear t-shirts at work. It looks very casual and it looks very college. T-shirts are till college only. No casual shoes, no sneakers, no flip-flops, no canvas shoes, nothing. No Onitsukas, no Adidas, no Nike at work. Ties are no more a requirement. Shirt should be tucked in always. That's how you dress up for work. So if you need to be formally dressed, I just put in Mondays. Mondays is generally the meeting, the saddest day of the week. So you go on Mondays, you get dressed, you always know you'll have a meeting with the boss or some other clients coming in. So you dress up all formally, like most formal on Mondays. Or if there's meeting on some other week of the day, you dress up formally there. So here you have trousers, you have shirt, you have a blazer, a coat, or you can call it a sports coat, black loafers or Oxfords. Something like this. So here I've added another layer just in case it's winters. Tuesdays and rest of the days. When you don't have a meeting and like it's the rest of the days, you can go for a chino pants, tucked in shirt and a cardigan. So with the cardigan, you can take your collars out to look more fashionable, and you can make your cuffs like your cuffs should be visible so that there's some contrast on the cuffs. Chinos can be black, navy, tan, or olive. OCBD shirt, it's Oxford cloth button down shirt, which is like a casual. If you Google it, you will understand each one of you has an OCBD shirt. Cardigan, make sure it's cashmere or it's wool. It should be of nice quality. Shoes can be Chelsea, Oxford, Derby, monk straps, butchers, wingtips. So I have a collection of the shoes for you also. Something like this you'll end up looking like. Now, what you need to realize is the fitting, guys. You have to be very sure it looks great on you. The fitting is absolutely right. Casual Fridays. A lot of office stuff, a lot of office permits you to dress very casually on Friday or maybe any other day of the week. That is when you can go for slim dark wash jeans, a darker color jeans, and not a casual or a ripped jeans. You can go for an OCBD shirt or a polo t-shirt. Guys, remember, polo t-shirt is not a business outfit. So you can wear it only if the office allows you to be casually dressed. Sweater optional as per season, ankle boots or Chelsea. So appropriate for business casual, not appropriate for business casual. Light color, dark color, single pattern, no ribbed. These are the shoes. You can all take the screenshot of this slide as well. These are the shoes that are actually allowed in any formal setup. Even if you're going for someone's birthday or something that requires some degree of formality, you need to wear dress boots, dress shoes. You cannot go with Adidas, Nike, sneakers, Canvas, etc. Okay, so we have covered this. Now, two of the interesting things that we are left to see. One is how to create transitional looks. So I have a video to show you guys. So basically, I'm sure a lot of you would face a problem where you have gone to work and from there you need to head for a party, but you don't have time to come back home. So what do you do there? Let's see some most fashionable looks that I have personally seen. This is a little high-end fashion as well, but you can absolutely create it if you have the right outfits with you. So I'll share the YouTube video here. Let me know in case it's not visible or audible to you. So if particular this outfit is absolutely right for evening, but in the day she could just remove the blazer, she can just remove all her golden jewelry and can keep it in the bag and wear it in the evening. Uh, okay, so I'll just say it for you. So for that, you can understand it. You can ignore the audio in the video. So the whole purpose of this particular look is carry the accessories in your bag and you can wear it on a plain jumpsuit. So if you want to see how this actually the jumpsuit looked like, so it's got full sleeves and she can actually wear it for, let's just see the full look. She kept that small purse in her tote, office tote. This coat can be worn as it is. This can be worn with other things like over a dress. This coat can be worn with jeans as well and a proper office look. Very important thing here, the length is very important. You really need your pants to fall straight, not touching the ground. Because if something is falling straight, only then you can understand the fall. Fur wrap over your regular workwear, it looks great. Just adding additional style quotient on this. Something like this can absolutely work for office. The fur wraparound can work for the evening. So yes, this is how you kind of create different transitional looks. So this is one of my favorite episodes that I personally liked, and you can absolutely create your own kind of transition, like what you wear in parties. Use that particular silhouette style in the day, make it office wear, and then you can enhance it. Maybe just carry a different purse, maybe just carry some accessories and enhance the look. And yes, a little bit of makeup. So now for the boys, we have a very interesting videos. I think it's for both of them, for the girls and boys both. This is how do you roll up your sleeves. You really need to do it very neatly. Don't do it untidily because that is a look that kind of kills your entire look if it's done untidily. So let's see the right way of rolling up the sleeves. First and foremost, let's begin with what not to do when you roll up the sleeves. So just rolling it one and leaving it like this, guys, no, it does not look nice. It's it just looks very sloppy. You roll it, pull it up, that's also not cool. It just does not stay in place and you would not like it. So sometimes a lot of boys, they end up just, rolling their sleeves like this, just twisting it. It does not look great at all. Very big mistake. What a lot of you guys do, you roll up, leave it here, you can't bend after that. It's stuck. Very wrong way of doing it. You need to fold it very nicely, very neatly. Wear half sleeves if you want to look very casual. You can absolutely go for half sleeves. But if you are wearing full sleeves, you need to know how to roll them right. Now, if you see, you basically leave your cuff visible a bit. Half of it is visible. So if you have a contrasting cuff, looks great in this style. So here, the cuff is visible a bit. If you see it here. When you do it above the elbow, you do it exactly here, not here. In case you have a shorter arm, this is what you need to do. For any person who has shorter arms, to make it look longer, you need to make the arm visible. So more visible you make your arm, longer your arms look. And your placket button. One you have is a cuff button, and then you have is a placket button. Always make sure it's very neat, it's very tidy. You even can ask somebody else to do it for you in case your hand is not trained for it. So this is the fourth time we are doing it. So yes, with this, we end our session. I'll just go back on our slides. So this was all the introduction or the heads up I could give you for fashion styling. And this is all the process that you learn. Go in details, observe, imitate, know your personal style, and create looks smartly. I'll head over to Indu ma'am now.
Thank you so much, Radhima ma'am. I am sure it was absolutely amazing for the audience. At least for me, it was. It was absolutely wonderful to learn the nuances, the tricks, the shortcuts, the hacks out there, and this wonderful field of design and styling, which we all are surrounded by. So it's always a pleasure to learn about that. Having said that, I would want to add on here that this was just the tip of the iceberg that Radhima ma'am has given you right now. Fashion styling is much deeper than that, and it has a lot of other things which you can learn. So in case anyone of you is interested to know more about it, to pursue a career in that field, or for other courses that we are offering at JD Institute, like fashion design, interior design, fashion business management, visual merchandising, pattern making, makeup artistry, jewelry design, a lot of courses on offer out there, all related to the field of design and styling. So any one of you who's interested, you can definitely pay a visit to the college also. Yes, you have to follow all guidelines. We all are also following all COVID guidelines here at the campus. You can even get in touch with our admission team or any of the faculty members if you want to speak to. You can definitely get in touch. All channels of communication are very well listed here on this slide. I'll stop here for a while if any of you would want to take a screenshot of it. Else you can visit the website. All details are available there as well. So looking forward to see at least some of you there at campus and be a part of the wonderful field of design, which, as I said, we are surrounded by in our everyday life as well. So having said that, I would invite, in case any one of you has a question or query right now, which is coming to your mind, else you're more than welcome to ask any query at a later stage as well. Anyone would want to know anything or say anything? And I would now like to thank Dhanishta and the entire team of the college as well for having us here and giving us this wonderful platform to interact with the lovely audience out there. So huge thanks to you, Dhanishta, and your entire team from JD Institute of Fashion Technology. So over to you with that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And like you said at the beginning of the event, that hopefully the delay actually got covered up by this amazing session that you guys hosted. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm definitely coming to the campus for this. It was so fruitful. I loved it. I'm sure everyone else also did. And
we would love to see you here, Dhanishta, anytime, absolutely.
Definitely, ma'am. And with this, we come to the end of the session. And on behalf of the entire team and faculty of Yatharth, I would like to extend an official vote of thanks to the entire team of JD for such a fruitful event. Special thanks to the Industrial Relationship Manager, Ms. Bhavna Arora, for organizing the event and for constantly coordinating with me, going through all of the fuss for smooth coordination, everything. Dr. Indu Gupta and Ms. Radhima Jain for conducting this workshop, for hosting it so wonderfully, and for covering it up all through the event, for bearing it with us today during the technical faults. And I hope that in the future we can associate again. And I assure you this will not happen again. We will take better care next time. Also, our faculty, TIC, Dr. Zarunisha, who was here for a while but had to go because of some prior engagements. Our principal, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, for letting us host this event. Our technical head, Mr. Ravi, for all the constant support, for the live streaming on Facebook, for helping us throughout. the entire core team of Yatharth for putting together this event and organizing it, for making it such a big success. And last but not the least, all of our participants who came up today and joined us, bared with us all through the event, 2 hours. Thank you so much. It means so much to the entire department. And I hope that in the future, we can organize more such events and invite you guys, and we all hope to see you there, and possibly at the campus of JD as well. So if you could all just turn on your cameras for a second, we'll take a quick picture for making some memories. Okay, so on the count of 3, we can all say Samanvay. Okay? 1, 2, 3, Samanvay. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you so much, Indu ma'am, Ridhima ma'am, Bhavna ma'am, the entire core team participants. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anisha, save the recording.